Okay. So you see I got my collection. I got one and then I got two. Click on two. I'm in pose mode. You can tell because the bones are blue. Or if you want to call it the armature is blue. I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to go to file, import, wavefront OBJ. And I'm going to import this Freya because that's the A pose one. See, my reborn body is crooked, I believe. I really believe it is crooked. It is. And I get a lot of issues with it because of that. You see? I don't know. My head is crooked. My eyes is crooked. I think that's really crooked though. I don't know. Let me put it in. It's in perspective view right here. Let me press 5 on my keyboard to do orthographic. All right. I'm just gonna not mess with it and just fix the jacket. Go to the side. I'm gonna hit G for grab and Y for Y axis and just drag it. I just want to center it better. Mm, okay. Because the sleeves look pretty even, except for that one. That one, the hand is coming out some. I don't know. It just seems crooked to me. All right. So anyway, I'll fix that. So I'm gonna tab into edit mode. I'm gonna turn on my proportional editing, and I'm just gonna click on one vertex just to see what my brush is up to. I'm gonna hit G for grab. Okay, my circle is huge. See, my circle is huge. I'm gonna right click on my mouse to reset it. Hit G for grab again and scroll my middle mouse button away from me to resize my circle area. Okay. I'm gonna change it because it's on edge mode. You see that line selected? See? I'm gonna change it to vertex mode. Or you know what? I'm gonna do face mode. And then I'm just gonna start pulling it out. I'm gonna put it on X-ray mode up here so I can see through. I'm gonna press 1 on my keyboard to get it to front view. I'm gonna hit B on my keyboard for box select. C is for circle select. And I'm gonna hit S on my keyboard and X, X as in X-ray for the X axis and just scale this out. Then I'm gonna hit 3 on my keyboard. I'm gonna hit B on my keyboard and hold down my middle mouse button and drag it over here to deselect all of those in the front. And I'm gonna hit G for grab, Y for Y axis, and I'm just gonna drag this out. I'm gonna turn off my X-ray mode. I'm gonna hit A twice on my keyboard to deselect everything. Okay, so we still have some spots to work with. So I'm going to do those separately. I'm going to press C on my keyboard for circle select, make it a little smaller. And just make sure you're not selecting anything else. You can check this also by clicking on X-ray to see if anything else is highlighted in orange. Okay, that's a little tip. And then I just turn the body to how I want to do it. And you can hit G for grab. And I use the directional keys on my keyboard. And whatever direction I want to go, I use that arrow. So I'm just doing my left arrow on my keyboard. And I'm going to hit enter. Okay. And I'm going to hit A twice to deselect everything. C on my keyboard. Right click to get out of the C selection. And then I'm going to do the same process. Just hitting G on my keyboard and using the directional arrow keys to pull that out. I'm going to hit an A twice. Do over here. This, since it's so large, I'm just going to, oh, Control Z, do it in stages. Okay, so that is done. Now I can rig it. I'm going to tab into object mode. I will be using Bento Buddy. Now I'm going to press N on my keyboard to open up this side menu. I'm going to left click on Bento Buddy. I'll do it both ways. Alright, so I'm going to use Avastar first. So with Avastar, you open it up, you have your menu, you click down on binding and skinning. You right click on your mesh that you made. Then you right click on the bones, the armature. And then I have to change my method. I'm going to use copy from meshes. And I'll just drag that out. When you get those two arrows, you can drag holding down your left mouse button. And I'm just going to use the body. I don't need the feet. So I'm just using the body. Okay, I can leave that like that. That. Because I'm going to what? I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright. And then I'm going to scroll down some and hit bind to armature. And wait for it. Now I'm going to right click on the armature and go to pose mode. I'm going to click on that bone right there. And you see it is rigged. Which it does. It's going to need some fixing. Because look at that underarm. And right click on the leg. Press R on my keyboard to rotate. Alright, so it is rigged. Voila. I'm going to press Control Z so I can undo all of this. Let me see, go to pose mode. Oh, this is still rigged. Alright, I'm just going to unrig it. So I'm going to click on, for unbind. I'm going to unbind it, so I'm going to put clean up, break pairing, unbind. Now, see, and now it's not bind anymore. Okay, so that's how you do it with Avastar. And to export it, you would go to File, Export, and then you will use Collada Avastar Day. And you should be good. Okay, don't use Collada Day. Collada Days, if something you made is not rigged, so say like a chair or a table, you would use Collada Day. But for Avastar rigged items, you would use Collada Avastar Day. DAE. Okay. Now when you do rig your item down here in this triangle, these are all the weight groups. So since we rigged it, now I have these weight groups in here. I'm just going to delete them all because we're going to get new ones. So delete all groups. So now it's empty. All right. So that's how you do it with Avastar. Now I'm going to do it with Bento Buddy. So you have your Bento Buddy menu open. If you don't have it, If yours is like this, but you know you have Bento Buddy, press N on your keyboard to open up this side menu. So we're going to go to Skinning and Weights. Right click on your mesh to select it. Click on Lock Meshes. Then right click on the body. And then click Lock Weight Sources. And then left click on Transfer Weights and wait for it. And then we should go right directly into pose mode. And we did. So I'm going to right click on that arm bone, press O on my keyboard to rotate, and you see it is rigged. Okay. Okay. All right. So now what? I don't like how that sleeve is looking. So with that selected, I want to do the other arm like that. I'm going to go up here to copy pose. I'm going to left click on that. Then I'm going to come here to paste mirror pose and left click on that. And I'm going to do the same with the leg. Because I don't know if I'm happy with that like that. I don't know. I have a OCD. You know me. And let me see how this part is moving. I'm not mad at that. Oh boy. That could be better, but we'll see. Okay. I might fix that. I don't know. Alright. So now I'm going to right click on the mesh jacket. I'm going to left click over here on object mode and change it to weight paint. Now you see how this paint is jaggedy? I don't like that. And this is the upper leg. Alright, so let me close this now since I'm done. I'm going to open up this side so you can see better. So this is the left upper leg. So when if I click on hip, that'll be the hip weights. That is the right upper leg. If I left click on M hip right, okay, you get the gist. I don't want thumbs, so I'm going to hit this minus to remove the vertex group. I don't want thumbs. I usually get rid of hand, but I think I'm going to keep the hand. This lower arm. Let's get rid of that thumb. It's a lot of weights up here. The back. See how it's like, ugh. We're going to smooth all of that out. The pec is for the breasts. Chest. Lower back. Oh, that's why it was looking like that. Belly. Booty, butt, cheeks. Oh, they don't got no butt in here. You see? Nah, I'm not going to do it. Pelvis. So the butt is really involved with the pelvis for Reborn. This is the M pelvis. So the M pelvis is really the SL movement bones. The pelvis, or the ones that don't have the M in front of it and are all caps, that is the, you know how you, gosh, what do you call that? Shape, your shape bones. Okay, so that's the one you can make your butt bigger, smaller. The pecs, that's for your chest, your breast. Make it bigger or smaller, like that. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start with this one. Now you can smooth them out one by one, or you can do them all at the same time. You can use blur and pick your blur brush. Get this circle here. You can make your circle bigger right here, the radius, or you can use F on your keyboard and drag your mouse towards you or away from you, and then left click to set it. Okay. So those are ways. You can press N on your keyboard and then open up your tool sidebar. You can change the radius, strength of your brush, stroke, fall off, cursor, do, you know, you could do it. You could do it is ways. Also over here, if you click on these tools, you also have it here. Okay, many ways, many ways. All right, so I usually don't mess with too much besides the strength and the radius of my brushes, and basically change my brushes. This is drawer, which I would change it to click on this little thing, and I usually do mix because whatever the weight is, so 1 being a lot of weight, let me undo that, and 0 meaning take away weight. Okay, so you can play with it like that. Okay, all right, so we go back to vertex groups over here, and let me go to, you start at the bottom. Also, you can click down this, left click down this arrow, and you can sort by bone hierarchy, which it already was, obviously. Okay, so you can use blur, and that will smoothen it out. This is on 100 strength, so it's doing it quite a bit. So I'm gonna Control Z to undo that. Go back there. Or you can do your whole everything, all these weights over here. You would just go to weights, smooth, open up that bottom box, and you can put it on all groups, or you can do it active group. So whatever group you have selected, that would be the active group. So you could do one by one there as well. So to do all of them, I'm going to do all groups, and then I'm going to move the iterations up to 5, and that's it. And put that back down. So now if I go to upper leg, you see it smoothed them out for me. See, it did everything. Let's go up. See, they're all smoothed out, and the underarms even look a little better, though we have work to do with them. All right. So I am going to go back into object mode. Yeah, the underarms is crazy. So what I want to do now, I'm going to right click on the mesh coat. I'm going to tab into edit mode. And now I want in edit mode, I want my coat to still be able to move. So I'm going to come over here to this wrench, and I'm just going to turn these on right here. And now it has moved with the body. I'm going to come up here to UV editing. And right now I have to change the window to UV editor. Then I'm going to click on these 2 arrows to sync the UV map with the mesh. So this is my UV map. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. So I want to work on the arms. This part. So I'm going to press C on my keyboard and over here in the 3D window. And I'm just going to click there so I have a little idea. A little idea what I'm doing. So now here I'm going to press C. And just try to even this out. So these are like the areas we want to work on. I'm going to press C in my middle mouse button to deselect those guys. C again and left click where I want to highlight. Let me move this all out the way. Oh boy. And then C again to get rid of some of this. Some of this I don't want to mess with. Alright, so I do want some of this arm. I'm going to get a little close here just because I have some stragglies in here, and I don't want those. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. And I think I need some of this. Yep. So this part. That part. Get this other sleeve. This side. Okay, let me have a looky. And get some of it off of the breast area. Because we don't need all of that. Let me fix that collar. I had some of the collar. This mouse. Alright. Take some of that off. When you see it's getting like how mine is, where you can't hardly see what the heck you're doing, you can press 5 on your keyboard, and that'll put it in orthographic. And in orthographic, you can get close as you need. Okay. Just gonna get a little there. Alright. Alright, you see this got messed up right here. Alright, whatever. Alright, so now I'm gonna go back into layout. Oh, my foot is going to sleep. I'm gonna go back into weight paint. I'm gonna hit on this face select mode, or paint mask. Face selection for paint mask. And now with those selected, I'm going to go to weights, smooth, and you see it automatically started moving them. I'm going to bring this menu up, and I'm going to increase. And you see the more I increase it, the more it is moving it. Alright, so I think that is much, much better. Let's do 50 because I like even numbers. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to do it again just to bring down my iterations. Because if I do it now, it's going to reverse what I just did. So smooth again. 50, but I'm bringing it all the way down to 1. Okay. To reset it back. Because this thing is annoying. And then I'm closing it. Now I'm going to go back to object mode. And to be honest, I'm not even mad at that. But you can play with your own creations however you want. Now for this part, I am not feeling that. Because if that was a texture, and the thing is, I don't really know if I should even care about this. But I do be caring. Alright, so I want to test my arms. So I'm going in pose mode. That looks way much better. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to right click on the coat. And it automatically took me in object mode. I'm going to go to UV editing. I'm going to tab on my keyboard to go into edit mode. I'm going to hit A twice to deselect everything. Now, I already did my textures and everything on this. I just didn't really, I don't know. I think I did bring them in SL. I did. I just didn't show you guys. But that's neither here nor there. We're just doing, I'm showing you how I go about my process. Even though I didn't show you me making the coat. If you do want to know, just let me know. I will do a whole brand new, not the same thing, but similar, to show you how I got my coat to where it is today. I don't even remember myself, but I can do it. Okay, so you let me know. All right, so I just want to see, let you see how the texture will be. Now you see how these lines are squiggling? That's basically how the texture is going to be squiggling, if I'm correct. Now under here is good. See, that's not bad, but this part is bad. All right, and then that's not cool. So I'm gonna do width. I'm gonna press A to select everything, and then I don't know if I have to do that, but I'm doing it. Then I'm gonna go down here to image. I'm gonna click on new, and I'm going to just give it a name, test graphic, I guess. And I'm gonna change generated type from blank, because that would just be black or whatever color you put there, to color grid. I think that'll be good. And okay. Now I'm going to go back to layout. I'm going to go down here to material, this world looking thing, beach ball looking thing. And now I have these different faces. So when I bring it in SL, you can click on the cuffs or the placket or the coat, and they all can have 3 different colors. So that's how I did that. So being that I did that, I have to add the texture to each one. Okay, but I'm only going to do the coat part. No, yeah, the coat, and I'm going to do the placket. Because the placket is what I want to see, really. I could just do the placket. Let me see. So I'm going to left click on the placket. I'm going to come here to base color. Click on the yellow dot. Click on image texture. I'm going to, since we saved it in Blender, I'm going to click on that button. And I'm going to scroll down and click on test graphic. I'm going to change my viewport shading to display in material preview. And then I'm going to hit A twice to deselect everything. Alright, so I'm going to do it to the... I didn't mean to mark that as an asset. That's because I'm over here right-clicking. I'm going to add an image texture here too, to the coat. Okay. Might as well do the cuffs too, right? Alright, let's do the cuffs. Okay. I'm going to tab into object mode. So you see how this is squiggling? We don't want that. See how this is pretty straight? The inside is pretty straight. So if you have OCD, then you may want to fix that, alright? So I'm going to tab into editing mode. I'm going to put my X-ray vision on. I'm going to press A to select everything. A twice to deselect everything. Just to make sure you're not selecting things you don't want. I'm going to hit C on my keyboard for circle select. And I'm just going to select some of these here. And then the back I don't need. So I'm just going to tilt her a little. Press C for circle select. And middle, hold down middle mouse button to deselect. Then right click to get out of that. And then just to be sure, I'm going to go to UV editing just to check. So I'm going to get rid of that. Alright, that should be fine. Alright, so I'm going to go back into layout mode. I'm turning off X-ray. Getting a little close. Closer than close. closer than most. And I'm going to go into weight paint mode. I'm going to come back here into object data properties. And this, I'm going to click on left upper leg. Let's see, right upper leg. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with left. I'm going to go to weights. I'm going to go to smooth. And I'm going to open it up. And I'm put up these iterations. I don't know why it just went to clavicle. But whatever. And it's on all groups. So that's a good thing. Alright, so I put it to 10. So let's go back to object mode. It cleared it up a little bit. I'm not happy with this curve. So let's go back to weight paint mode. I'm going to hit Control C. Alright, so go back to weight paint mode. You know what's better? Let's do it this way. Let's change it to vertex selection because you can actually see the lines. See how they're squiggly right here? Those guys are good. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to highlight the squiggly ones because it's just these in the front. Or we can use our blur brush. Let's do that. Alright, so let's go back down. I'm going to use my blur brush and just blur these. Let's do hip. Nope. Right upper leg. We could use smear. Nope. Smear it some. It's looking like what it needs is a little more oomph. Oh, oh, that's too much. Let me blur it. Girl, you done mess up your whole thing. No, I done messed it up, y'all. Alright, so I'm gonna use Control Z and I hope it works. I done messed my thing up. Alright. I hope I ain't... Girl, I done messed up that part. Let me undo that. That's the most I can undo. I done messed up the inside part. Alright, so I'm gonna smooth, but I'm gonna do it not all groups. Smooth. I'm gonna change it to active group. And I'm gonna try to fix it that way. It did a little. I'm gonna smooth it again. And I'm gonna hit A to deselect everything. And I'm just gonna hit C for circle select. And I'm gonna just select these guys that I'm having a little issues with. Look at this edge. And I'm gonna go to UV layout. I'm gonna tab into edit mode. And I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna select anything from the inner part. Hey! Why is that like that? Let's go to layout. Let's change it to vertex select. Yeah. Now UV editing. Okay. You gotta get rid of those guys. Come up here. Select these. Okay. I'm not so mad at these up here. So let me deselect. Okay. And maybe leave the bottom. Alright, let's see how that works. So I'm gonna go back to layout. I'm gonna tab back into weight paint. Or you can come up here and change it to weight paint. Look like those are selected for some reason. Ugh, I'm just tripping. Alright. So now what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna mess with the smear. I'm gonna turn the strength down for the smear. Because that was OD. Alright, so I'm gonna hit A to select everything. I'm gonna go to blur. And just blur these some. Yeah, it's a process, guys. So this is what I go through. This is how you do it. I definitely don't want the inside messed with. Alright. So yeah, you gotta mess with it. If you're a tedious person like me, this is what happens. I'm gonna try to blur these. And smudge it. And blur it. Smudge it. Let me deselect it. What did I just do? Deselect these for now. Alright. Go to object mode. I am just so not happy with that. I ain't even gonna lie. But this is my process. I want to go to UV editing. And I'm just gonna select all of these guys. Except for this bottom. The edge. And that edge. And then I'm gonna go back to layout and back to weight paint. Weights. I'm gonna smooth. Take it down. So that's 1. That's 200. I'll leave it on 200. And I'm gonna smooth this side. And then I'm going to go back into object mode. That right there. Why? I select this. Weight paint. Oh wait. Let me see UV edit. I want to make sure I don't got this one. Okay. It's annoying. Smooth. Right. Smooth. That's as smooth as it's gonna get. Let me see pelvis. Pelvis. Smooth. Nope. That's as smooth as it's gonna get. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more again. I don't want this side though. Okay. Right. I want to go back down. Bring this down some. And it goes to the pelvis. Alright. I'm gonna bring it to 10. Whatever. Upper leg, weight, smooth. Right leg, smooth. I'm just gonna do hip. Why not? And then these pelvises. And that pelvis. And I think that is it. Okay. Go into object mode. Yeah, I don't know. That thing is not straightening out. So it may have something to do with the UV map. It is. It definitely is. So I am going to fix this UV map. That's what it is. I'm taking off proportional editing. Okay, and I'm going to click on these out of sync UV map, vertices. And I'm going to press G for grab, and I'm going to use my arrow key and just move them. Straighten them out. And that, my friends, should fix our texture problem. Alright, so that's better than nothing. I don't know why it's still curvy. It's this middle part. That's this one. Okay, so let me see. Alright, so that I'm not gonna go crazy. But what you can do as well, let's see if this works, is A to select everything, go to UV, and go to average out in scale. Let's see if that helped. No. Alright, well, I'm going to be happy with that. Because, to be honest, I'm not putting textures on here. But if I did, it's not that bad. It's not too bad. It's not too shabby. Alright, so I'm going to go back into pose mode. I'm going to click on one bone. I'm going to press A to select all bones. I'm going to go left click on pose, left click, go to clear transform, left click on all to put her back in the rest pose position. Yeah, that's a little crooked anyway. That's because of my UV map. But I don't want to change my UV map now because then I won't be able to use the same texture that I'm going to use for Lara and my Freya. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Okay? But that's not bad. I can live with that. I can live with that. What happened? Stupid mouse. Yep, the back even got better from before. Yep. So all good in hood, A for everything, pose, clear, transform, all. I have to duplicate it, so it's already highlighted. I'm going to press Shift D on my keyboard, drag it, and then right click to set it back. Click on Tab on your keyboard, go to Mesh and Normals and Flip. And then what I'm going to do, if you don't want all this geometry, you can delete some and just leave like the collar, the cuff, the placket, just a little under there to show. I'm just going to leave mine. So I'm going to press Tab to go back in object mode. And then you see I have two meshes here. I'm going to click on the one and then hold down Control and left click on the other. And now I'm going to export again. Reborn, we're going to replace that one. Okay. Oh. Alright, so now I'm going to go to Build, Upload, Mesh Model, Reborn, Open. And now you see it has a back to it. Okay. Alright. Then here I'm going to come put 0. I'm going to come over here and put 0. And down here I'm going to hit left click calculate weights and fees. And wait for it. Oh, 16 limits, 7.155 land impact, download 7.155, physics 1.680, server 1. If you want to see if the joints are right, you can click that on joint positions and it'll show you how it's fitting on your avatar. Okay. If you don't want to see it moving, then you can click off the weights. Oh, this mouse. Okay. Just go in and out and you can turn around with your mouse. Alright, you probably know that. Alright, so I'm going to left click on upload. And let's hope I don't get no errors. And it is here. So let's try it on. And I hope, see how it came in, bubble coat reborn. Okay. Add. Okay, so I'm going to change the colors, of course. Make it light blue. Sea blue. And then I'm going to do select face. Since we have three different faces, I'm going to select the placket. And I'm going to make that brown for some reason. Why am I so slow? And I'm going to click on the cuff. Not that cuff. Oh boy. These, oh gosh, I don't even know what you call them. They got too much going on. Oh, purple looks nice, probably. See? I don't know why I did that, but whatever. Okay, so here you can see how your mesh will look. I repeat, I am not feeling the placket at all because of the breasts. So I will have to go in and fix those breasts. Alright, so let me look at this thing. Let me strike a pose. Oh yeah, that's bad. That is bad business. Alright, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna delete that duplicate one by clicking on it with my mouse in this window. I'm gonna press delete. And I'm gonna click on this coat. I'm gonna tab into edit mode. I'm gonna press A to deselect everything. I'm gonna go into X-ray mode. I'm gonna press C for circle select and select this area right here. I'm going to press 3 to go into side view. I'm going to press C for circle select and hold down my middle mouse button to deselect the back. I'm going to get off X-ray mode. I'm going to go to weight paint. Hello. And then I'm going to come up here to chest. I'm going to switch it from vertex to face so I can see better. And I'm going to go to left pec, right pec. So I think I'm trying to think how to do this. Let me look at what could possibly be wrong. That just looks like a whole mess. I'm gonna use smear. Maybe smear some of this and then do the left one and do blur. The chest is humongous. Alright, so I'm just gonna try this one. Let's go object in my hand. And I'm just gonna bring it in just to test. Save. Because I can't tell in here. It is what it is. Right. Upload image model. Reborn. See, I wish you could be able to tell right here, but it don't let you. It's only $2 cheaper without the double. If you can get in a testing environment, then by all means do that. For some reason, I try and I can't. It don't let me. I'm gonna just go to recent folder. Take this one off. And let's see how this now looks. See, her chest ain't even that big. They are. I think that's still not good. Nope. Select face. At least it's not going through the coat. I think I need to take some of the breasts out. I don't know. Reborn breasts be looking crazy. Let me see. Yeah. Right. Weight paint. Let me try smooth. And put it up to 200. Do it for that side. And then for the breast, I want to take some of it out. This breast is crazy. I'm going to use my paintbrush. And I'm going to use the eye sample weight eyedropper tool. And I'm going to sample this green. So I'm just, eyedropper tool. And I'm going to sample the green. Then I'm going to change it to the paint tool. It changed my weight. And I'm just going to change some of this. And I'm going to blur it. Because that breast is too much. I'm going to do the same here. And I'm going to blur it. Alright, so let's try this. Export. Okay, that looks mucho better. I don't know if I want that top moving with the neck so much. We paint. Take that off. Let's go look at the neck. I'm going to go to my paintbrush. Oh, you know what? Let me go to UV editing tab mode. And let's... Oh no, what happened to my UV? It is intertwined. I don't know how that happened. That is not good. I think because I did the stupid I did the stupid UV average scale. I think that's why. Cheese and peas. That's the neck. I think that's the ear. I'm gonna press L so I can just select the neck. Oh, that's such a problem. That's why people can't pay me enough. Alright, so I'm gonna press Control and I to invert it. And now I'm gonna go to weight paint mode. And I'm gonna click on there. And then I'm gonna put the weight to 0. And I'm gonna just start taking some of this neck part that's here out. Because I think it is too much. And I don't think all of this should be moving with the neck. And I'm gonna hit the blur. Just blur it some. Then see the other neck part. Hit the blur. Go to object mode. This time I'm gonna double it. So Shift D. A to select everything, mesh, normal, flip. And I'm gonna select both of these guys. Export mesh. Reborn. Okay. So let's upload and see how it looks now. And hopefully this is the last 16 lindens I'm gonna be spending. Okay, that looks so much better. Alright, so me personally, I'm done with Reborn. So that's how I start off with Freya when I make stuff, and then I make it fit my other bodies. Okay. Alright, I hope you had fun. I'm gonna save my file, which I should have did in the first place in the beginning. And I wouldn't have to keep finding my folder. So this is eBody Reborn. I'm just gonna go to the front of the dev kit name, and I am going to put bubble coat. And I'm going to take out the dev kit part. And it would be bubble coat eBody Reborn. And it's in my folder I want it to be in. Oh wait, let me name it like the rest. It says winter. And I got one word. I'm gonna take out eBody and Reborn. There you go. I did cups already. I don't have it. almost ain't finished. Alright, so that is it. And I hope you enjoy. I want to thank you. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if you want to be notified, hit that notification bell, baby. Peace.